What's going on, guys? Still here. So, first off, this is going to be the first video since I've gotten into the new setup. Actually, I think it's the second one. The first one was my channel update. So I apologize. I do not have soundproofing in this room yet, so it's going to be a little echoey. But we're going to have to work around with that. And also, I have a fan in the background, so because it's hot. But I did say during my live stream reacting to the Direct Hit teaser that I would make a devblog on something that I found pretty interesting and noteworthy. But I won't probably be making too many of these. But of course, I mean, who knows? But the one I wanted to look at was the new locations that we're going to get and a new test drive, which is really nice. We kind of needed a new test drive for a while. A lot of people were using the tank polygon mission, which was made a long time ago and is still up on War Thunder Live. It's one of the top downloaded missions, actually, that allows you to test pretty much any vehicle on any vehicle. However, it had to be updated by the mission maker himself. So unfortunately, a lot of new vehicles are not in it. But anyways, we're going to be getting that. I actually kind of want to take a look at that first before we look at the two new maps. They don't have too many pictures, but this kind of just shows you a good idea of what we're going to deal with. Now, I made a tank biathlon map for like competitions for friends, which I might actually link that in the description of this video if you guys want to check it out. And this seems like they're going to share that terrain, but they're kind of updating it. Let's see if we can get some more pictures. So this is going to be like, this is obviously like a dummy plane. They're definitely getting that like enlisted kind of vibe with the test drive area. It's a little bit more proper looking. It just looks more interesting, kind of similar to what enlisted has for its firing range. So yeah, we're gonna have areas where you can test vehicles going in water. You know how they traverse in water, paved roads, muddy roads. You know, medium terrain, light terrain, stuff like that. And there's going to be plenty of tank test dummies. I kind of hope they add a couple of more dummies or they add some more functions to it, similar to how the tank polygon was, where you could kind of shoot a tank or something and you would get different tanks to spawn, different tiers, nations, stuff like that. So I kind of hope they do something like that. Otherwise, either way, it's still going to be a nice new change. I see there's even a patch in this photo on the right by the wing of the H-111, that there's some area that kind of looks like that terrain on Vietnam, like the Agent Orange / napalmed kind of area, which is really shitty terrain. And then obviously this kind of cracked bridge object is from Vietnam as well. You'll notice that when you try to go to the city areas by the I believe the southeast spawn if you're looking at the minimap. So yeah, the test drive definitely going to be cool, definitely going to be fun to mess around on. The other two maps, so we're going to start up at the top again, I was actually just talking about this the other day. I was kind of hoping, because we had a leak list, that we were going to get this Spaceport map, and it seems like the leak list is going to be pretty damn accurate. So we will be getting the April Fool's event map again, the Spaceport, as they say here. Where is it? Players who took part in the April Fool's event Warfare 2077 may recall already battling it out on Spaceport. Those players who miss this opportunity won't have to wait long for a second chance, however. So, yeah. Gonna get, is that another? Yeah, so that's a picture of it. You kind of get an idea of what it entailed. It had like a construction site area similar to cargo port, kind of like a city, it's more like a business park kind of area. And then some wide open areas like this where the satellites are. It's actually a pretty big map. However, that event with all of the fancy weapons we had made it feel really small, because of like the self-guided missiles and all that stuff. I'm sure for those of you that played the event, you remember quite well that the missiles, just pretty much people would just spawn and start firing at each other with those guided missiles. But fortunately, we won't have to deal with that kind of craziness now, because it'll be in the official map rotation. One thing I want to touch on, too, with maps like this, these maps are really good for top tier. World War II vehicles, I don't know. It might even be a bit immersion breaking, and they might even try to focus this map on like a more high tier rotation. But maps like this in Red Desert, the problem is we have issues where people just, like with Red Desert, they saw the map on the test server, or the dev server. They were like, this map's shit because they played it on the dev server. And then if they saw it on the live server, they played it, whether at it, like a lower tier where it takes forever to play because the pace of the gameplay. The map was made for top tier, essentially. It was definitely what Gaijin's point of that map was to try and make a top tier map. But unfortunately, I think a lot of people just kind of didn't even bother learning how to play on that map and just straight up banned it. It's not a bad map. It has some issues, but every map in War Thunder does. It always devolves into the same thing that, like, at some point, if one team gets destroyed by a cap circle and they don't respawn, they don't even actually try to keep playing, you just get spawn camped. I honestly don't notice any cross map spawn camping. I've never been on the receiving end of it. I have done it a couple of times occasionally at some spots, but they're pretty close to the spawns on Red Desert to where it would just be like a normal map where you would just be able to defend your spawn anyways. It really isn't that different from any map in War Thunder, really. It just offers a lot more space for maneuvering. And so I think a lot of people are going to maybe like this map at first, or they might look at it on the dev server again and think, wow, this map's shit, depending on where Gaijin placed the cap zones. They might share the cap zones with what was on the event, where there was one on the right side by like just kind of like a deserty area, one on the left side, and then one in the center. But I think it's going to be a cool map. I always kind of wanted to play on this map. It flowed pretty well, even with all the craziness that was the April Fool's event. So I'm assuming that with normal gameplay, it's going to flow pretty decently. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing on it. Now the next map we have is Breslau, which is what it was called under German occupation in Poland. Warklaw. I'm not Polish, but I almost wanted to say it's Warsaw, but I don't believe this is Warsaw at all. In the final months of World War II, when they say that, I'm getting like an Advance to the Rhine kind of vibe. So if we look here, we have like a bridge area. I believe even Severus 13 was actually going to have more to it, because there was like a semi-detailed area on the other side of the river there on Severus, and I think they're going to kind of do it with this map. So crossing the bridge, if this is like a top tier map, this is going to be like a pretty stupid area to go. But for World War II vehicles, there's going to be a lot of like bridge holding. It's going to be some key points. Got some statues. I'm assuming that those will be historical statues. And then, as you can see, if this is the whole play area, from what I'm looking at, like up here looks about the edge of the map maybe, and like so around here, playable area. I don't know how much of this other stuff is going to be playable, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm getting a kind of a Sweden / Advance to the Rhine kind of vibe. Hopefully this doesn't get the Rhine treatment. Rhine is like a map where everyone goes to the same exact 5 spots and just plays every time. Rhine is a very boring map. It's not a bad city map by all means. I think Berlin is much worse, because Berlin offers spawn camping that Rhine doesn't really offer. Like, you at least have to fight to the spawn. But in Berlin, essentially, the North team can just spawn camp the South team, depending on who's playing on what side, or vice versa. So hopefully this isn't going to get the Sweden treatment where there's a lot of slugging it out, and I don't think so, because they do say in the description there's going to be an open area, and that's what this looks like here. But otherwise, I think it's going to be a cool map. But again, I'm kind of fearing that this is going to get that kind of treatment. Or hell, even kind of like Eastern Europe, with the fact that there's a lot of bridges and there's going to be a lot of areas where people are just going to essentially lock down an entire portion of the map by themselves because they can. So, I mean, I don't know. It looks good. There isn't a lot of cover, though, so this is definitely going to be a map that relies on you kind of moving all the time. Unless there's going to be a couple of spots where, again, like I said, people will lock down a certain chunk of the map. But it looks really good, and the same with the Spaceport map, which I don't know how much they've actually changed the Spaceport map visually. It's probably about the same as it was during the event, but Breslau is going to be pretty interesting as well. So, yeah, I honestly don't know. We're going to have to wait and see for the dev server. I don't really like how this map is looking at the moment. Like, I do and I don't. But I'm kind of leaning more towards this map is going to be Sweden 2.0 kind of side. However, hopefully with an open area, it will kind of shake things up. And like I said, again, there's not that much solid cover to where you're going to be able to hide behind something and someone won't notice you there. There will be a lot of little areas you can kind of see tanks through. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I will link these dev blogs below. Oh, also, I just got... I don't know if you guys heard that, but I just got a little text message there. Little telegram from Gaijin telling me don't say anything bad about the maps, comrade. But yeah. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I will link this Devblog in the description. And I will also link it with my tank biathlon mission as well, that you guys can enjoy playing on that too, and do some T-72 jump firing. There's actually a ramp on that map, but yeah. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for me today. As always, I'm Steel Wolf, and I'll see you guys next time.